Hi, everybody. This is Gayana Torosyan talking about the first part of the very first chapter of our textbook on converging media. This is for MCOM 151 Understanding Media. So, we begin by examining the concept of mass communication, how it's becoming just media, and how it's facing a digital transformation in the new day and age. So, what do we mean when we say mass media? Collectively, those are all the modes of communication that we use to connect with other people or to connect with a very large audience. So, we called it mass communication, the process of communicating with a large audience. And we call it mass media now because we're not sure about the audience, and it can actually be a pretty small one if you're talking about social media. So, the field of media studies, which a lot of you will have as a major, is a field of study that examines the content, the history, and the effects of various media, in particular mass media. And so, we will be looking at the nature of mass media and how media are changing in the digital and social media age, where people are interconnected globally through networks of communication. So, in our textbook by Pavlik, we will learn about the reasons why mass media look and sound different today, how our media industry is changing because of our digital technologies, and how can we engage mass media as informed producers and consumers. So, those are some of the questions that your book will be addressing throughout the semester. One way to understand today's media is through the concept of convergence. You may have heard the word convergence, but let's try and understand it more deeply. So let's have a little bit of media history. Back in the day, the media were radio, television, newspapers, right? And they were enjoyed separately. The only time you could watch a movie or TV show or listen to a radio program was when it was on the air. So it was on a time continuum. That's why we said that broadcast media was on a timeline. It used to be, but now, we can binge watch Netflix, we can binge watch any streaming service because it's not on a timeline, but it's stored somewhere where you can download or stream. And because of that availability only at a given time, certain habits were developed. For example, we used to say that listeners and viewers are creatures of habits, and therefore distinctly separate industries were developed to address the activities of those consumer modes. So each medium had a different industry. We had the radio field, we had the movies, we had television, and newspapers, of course. So by the 1980s, things started changing rapidly. You could watch movies on TV. Theater release movies, they started showing up on TV, and we can say HBO is one example. TV cable channels multiplied, CNN, Showtime, and we mentioned HBO. Of course, you could see movies on television. They were also available on VHS tapes and tapes, Betamax. Also, you could see a lot of movie rental places, which is a new type of business, never seen before. New technologies allowed us to start recording radio and TV broadcasts and watch them later. Kind of what we do now, but in a less digital way. It's more analog technology. So later in the 1990s, digital and satellite technology started developing. So we got high quality copies of movies on DVD, and that kind of erased the VHS technology, if you even know about that. Have you ever seen a beta tape? I have. So the high quality copies started showing up on the internet, and consumers started breaking copyright laws, sharing them through their home computers. And we know Napster, the lawsuit about Napster, about music music sharing, file sharing, that became a problem, and the lawsuit was lost by the Napster company. So proprietary content is no longer okay to share freely. Satellite radio programming started replacing local and regional stations. And one decade later, by the 2000s, everything started coming together. Smartphones, wireless computers, laptops, iPads, streaming services, e-printing, it all changed the game. And all these things, as you see on the picture on the PowerPoint slide, you could fit all of those technologies: radio, camera, a telephone, a player, a DVD player. Everything could be in one place on your smartphone. Finally, we get to the point, as promised, we will understand the concept of convergence. This is what it is. The term we use today to describe the blurring together of mass media platforms. It means the coming together of computing, telecommunications, and media entertainment in a digital environment. And this is explained better on page 7 of your textbook. So I will stop here and we will pick up from the next part of chapter 1.